Hello. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to
Hello.
my channel. If you're new here, my name is Chelsea and I'm a full-time reseller. I sell on Poshmark, eBay, and Mercari, Facebook Marketplace, all the places. Anyway, today I am here to talk about Poshfest and I brought along two of my friends with me. I have Anne from So
Hi.
Very Blessed Posh. Anne, you want to take a second to kind of introduce yourself?
Sure. My name is Anne. I have been reselling for 5 years officially, and I am also a full-time teacher. I work virtually from Florida, which is awesome. And this has just started as a hobby, and I've just kept doing it.
Love it. And then Macy, share a little bit about yourself.
Hello, I'm Macy. I have a YouTube channel about reselling called Blue Consignment, and that's also my username on most platforms. Like Chelsea, I sell on a bunch of different places, but primarily Poshmark is my best selling platform. I'm a full-time reseller. I've been full-time reselling for about 2 years, and I did it part-time for years and years and years before that. Um, and I do consignment as well. So I have a little bit of a consignment side to my business where people can send me clothes and I resell them for them. And that's a little bit about me.
I love it. All right, so we're here to talk about Poshfest and share our experience with you guys. All three of us went to Poshfest 2019 and we had a great time. I didn't know Macy at the time.
I wish I knew you back then because then I would have had a friend.
Exactly. So like we were at the same event, but we just didn't run into each other. We didn't meet. I mean, I may have seen you. I could probably look through my pictures. Maybe I'll see you in the back.
That would be hilarious, actually.
Look, there's Macy way back there. So yeah, so we all went, but didn't know Macy. But I went with Anne. Her and I, it's hard to point at you. Her and I met up in Phoenix. We both flew there, right? Anne, we met up.
Yeah.
Sadly, we didn't take the same flights.
No, we didn't, but we met and snagged a rental car and then went on to our accommodations and then went to the conference the next day.
Yep. So anyway, we just kind of wanted to share a little bit about Poshfest, what you can expect, what the tickets cost, whether we think it's worth the price of the tickets, what you get for the cost of your ticket, that kind of stuff. Because I know, I believe tickets are still available as of today, but they're probably going to sell out pretty fast if they're not sold out at the time of you seeing this.
Yeah, so, I think they said like 4 days or something, right?
Yeah,
they
last time they
sell
sold out 4 days. So, and actually last year when they had the virtual Posh Fest, they sold out before I was even like aware that there were tickets to be had.
Really?
Oh, so I definitely missed out on that, which was a bummer, the virtual Posh Fest. But anyway, so the Posh Fest 2019, Macy has the numbers for us for like what the cost of the ticket was back then and what the cost of the ticket is this year. Can you want to share those numbers with us?
Yeah. So in 2019, the Posh Fest ticket, if you went in person, which I think they were only offering it in person that year, was $243. At least that's what I have written as paid. I don't know if that includes tax or not. But this year, it's $269 for the in-person one. And with tax, I ended up paying like $283. So pretty pricey.
Pretty pricey. So I was telling Macy and Anne before the broadcast started that actually in 2019, I did not pay for my ticket. I got my ticket for free, which was wild. There was someone on Instagram who wasn't able to go. So she did a giveaway. I think her username was like Stylishly Texas or something, but I just checked and she's not on Instagram anymore. So yeah, but anyway, I was so excited to win that giveaway. I was actually like leaving the Goodwill outlet and I was in like a drive-through getting dinner. And then I saw my phone and it was like blowing up. I had like all of these congratulatory texts and I look at it, I'm like, oh my gosh, I just won a ticket to Poshfest. So she was trying to make sure that I would actually be able to go or else she was going to give it away to another person.
Right.
So I like quickly called Anne and like, Anne, do you want to go to Poshfest? And you know what? This is what I love about Anne. She's like, yes let's do it.
Yeah. I jumped on, ordered a plane ticket.
Yeah. Tell them how you got your ticket, Anne.
So I got a discounted ticket because at that point everything was sold out. So I jumped on, I said, yes, let's go to Poshfest and book my ticket. I was just going to go anyway, just tag along with Chelsea and stay at the hotel or whatever, just in case like I couldn't actually participate in the conference. So I was going to go one way or the other and just experience Arizona. but I got on the Facebook groups and I found someone that was selling their ticket because Poshmark does a ticket transfer process. And so I was able to purchase that ticket off of her at a slightly discounted price. And they transferred all the information over to my name so I could check in and have my ticket. So
yeah.
it was really
So, like, even if you're watching this after the window when tickets are being sold and you happen to find someone who's not able to make it and wants to resell their ticket, that's a thing. Like, I remember there being several tickets being resold around the time when Anne and I decided we were going to go to Poshfest, because we decided like a month before. So
it was cool. Yeah.
it was
I feel like there's probably other platforms besides Facebook groups if you're not on Facebook. I mean, if you email Poshmark support, there is an email, the regular support email, then they can hook you up with a transfer ticket also.
Yep.
Smart. That really worked out for you too. That's awesome.
Yeah, it was crazy because we had kind of decided we're like, no, we're not going to go, because with the cost of the ticket and accommodations and a flight, it would just be really, really expensive. Well, a couple other things just fell into place too. And I actually ended up having family in the area.
Oh, wow.
I didn't realize how close this family member lived to Poshfest. She was only like 30 minutes away. So we crashed at her house. It was so nice.
Oh my gosh. So many savings.
So many savings. So,
you literally saved like $250 just on the ticket alone. That's insane.
So, and then, the place we were going to stay, that saved us probably another $500.
Oh yeah. Especially last minute in a conference season, that would have been so much. Now, as far as the price of the ticket, I just want to share my experience with other conferences, because I've been going to conferences for 15 years, all kinds of conferences, and I've been a vendor at conferences. And I have to say, for the $260 some odd, it is a fair price. It's an average conference price. However, I have attended conferences that were longer for significantly less. So I think it is on the higher end of conferences. I've paid $500 for a 2-day conference before. I've paid $100 for a 4-day conference. Okay. So it kind of depends on who's posting it and who's promoting it. So just a little bit of background. I think it's an average price.
Yeah. So based on your experience, Anne, when you pay big money for a conference, like you're saying, like the $500 conference, is that all inclusive like Poshfest is, where they provide food and like a swag bag and all that kind of stuff for you too?
Typically, it's everything but dinner. It's breakfast and lunch every day, and maybe one banquet dinner if you're lucky. But sometimes they'll want an extra fee for that. So typically I avoid banquet dinners at functions just because I can get more for my money at a local hotel or a local restaurant or something.
Yeah, definitely. So we wanted to make sure that we shared that Poshfest food last year. What do y'all think of the food? I mean, it was 2019, so it's been a little while, but what did you guys think of the food at Poshfest?
I really liked it personally. I remember taking a picture of it, and I actually was looking through some of my photos before doing this just to refresh my memory on what happened. And I had a picture of my food, and it had a piece of fried chicken and vegetables and potatoes and a whole bunch of different stuff, because they had a whole spread that you could choose from. So I mean that was right up my alley. That's the kind of stuff I eat every day.
Yeah, so that
I like the food too. I mean, I didn't have any problems. I had choices.
Yeah, so I'm kind of coming at it with a slightly different angle here. I'm not going to be a Debbie Downer about the food. The food was really good. However, I have weird dietary restrictions, which made it a little more difficult. So I'm gluten and dairy free, which is makes it so difficult to eat and travel. But even with those restrictions, at every meal, there was something that I could eat. So I will say that they really went the extra mile to provide for those needs. Sorry, I'm tumbling over my words here. In Phoenix, at the caterers at the event, I went and talked to them personally and just said, hey, I'm gluten and dairy free. I just wanted to check to make sure that this is something that I could eat. And they were they just kind of directed me saying, this is something that's safe for you to eat. This isn't. And it was really helpful to know exactly what I could and couldn't eat. Macy, it's funny though, that fried chicken meal was the one meal that I had such a hard time with, because they didn't have another option. It was just the fried chicken. So
Oh,
that's like
shoot.
the one meal where I was like, oh, this is the worst. So I ended up like pulling the skin and the fried part off and like trying to eat the chicken
Oh,
without touching the
no.
gluten.
Oh, gosh, that sounds like such a pain in the butt. Oh,
Yeah. I
I'm
mean, if I had
sorry.
celiacs, that would have been really bad. I just have like a gluten sensitivity, so
Yeah.
wouldn't kill my
I think it would be good if they offered a no food option ticket. I know
yeah,
that would be really hard to control. You know, you'd have to segregate people based on whether they're in the food room or not. So that might be
yeah,
hard. But even if lunch was a separate ticket and they just had like no speaker during lunch or an exclusive speaker during lunch and you paid a discounted ticket if you didn't want that. I think that would be a good option for future.
yeah. I agree because
Right.
this year in the drop down section for like the food allergies or the food preferences, they only had vegan, vegetarian, or just like the regular meal. Well, vegan or vegetarian don't correspond with my limitations, gluten and dairy free. Like it's not the same. So neither of those would work for me because both of them can still eat gluten as far as vegan and vegetarians. So anyway, that kind of stunk. And I don't know if I'll email support. I might email Poshmark support and just kind of like be like, hey, are you aware of other allergies? What are you going to do to help with that? I mean, I don't know. I don't know how much of a pain I want to be, but when you pay that much for a
Well,
ticket, you really hope that.
they did give us a survey last year, like a post attendee survey, and you can
Yeah,
always
that's
include
true.
details on that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
look.
feel like you can't be the only person with these allergies, you know? So like
Exactly. Well, gluten free is very, very common these days. Like I know lots of people who can't eat gluten or processed dairy. So yeah,
Mhm.
I felt like they did pretty good though about having like pretty simple meals last year at Poshfest. It was like meat and veggies, and
Yeah.
it wasn't like see the food that I have to avoid. And I'm gonna get off this topic here in just a second. But food that I can't eat is stuff like pizza and subs and stuff like that because there's like it's just so much bread that like I mean, what am I supposed to do? Eat the veggies off the top of the pizza? Like there's nothing I can eat there.
Yeah.
So as long as they avoid meals like that, I'm really good at piecing things together and eating what I can. So anyway, Lindsay is listening. She says, hi guys. She's listening
Hi,
while she
Lindsay.
lists. Yay. Hey, Lindsay.
Hey, Lindsay.
And we have the 5 resellers here. They say, hi y'all. Do y'all usually plan out most of your days while at the events or do you usually go with the flow? Well, Anne, you want to tell them what we
I
did?
have a comment on that one. I go with the flow because if I'm sitting in a session or a panel and it's not really relevant to me or it's information I've learned before or something I already know or I feel like it's not helping me, I'll just walk out and leave. And then there was one panel I know that I left and instead of going into another panel, I went downstairs. Chelsea, I think you came with me because we were looking for the swag table and we
Yes.
wanted to get there when it wasn't crowded. So we skipped an hour of panels just to go find that. And it turned out they had already sold out of stuff we wanted. But next time, I think I'm going to plan to skip a panel and go straight to swag and get it first and
Sure.
then go with the flow on the rest of the day.
Yeah. So that I'm not a planning type person either. I feel like Anne and I, this is why we get along so well, is Anne and I are both very much like fly by the seat of your pants style people. Like, hey, Anne, you want to come up to Orlando tomorrow? And she's usually like, yeah, I'll be there. You know, like actually when I asked her to do this live, I asked her yesterday, you guys, this is bad. I asked Macy and yesterday and they both agreed to it. So that kind of shows you how well we plan, or at least me anyway. So I kind of just like to go with the flow. And I feel like that worked out really well for us at Poshfest this past year because we ended up meeting people and wanted to spend some time hanging out and talking with them. Maybe we went to a panel and we didn't really like it. I remember leaving one panel and going to another one halfway through, and you can do that. They didn't seem to care of us like moving around and changing locations during the event. You're really free to kind of do whatever. What do you think, Macy? Did you kind of go with the flow or did you plan it out?
I definitely went with the flow too because like I was going alone. So I got an Airbnb and it was like an Airbnb that also had like a person living in it. So I was just like in a room, but like it was so different. The whole experience was so different for me because I usually don't travel alone. But I'm like, oh, John won't want to go to this, my boyfriend, because like it's, you know, I'm gonna be at Poshfest like the whole time. So I'll make it short. And so I just went and then I stayed in this Airbnb. And then I had no idea what I was gonna do for like dinners and stuff for the other nights because I was just like, oh, I hope I make a friends. I'm not just doing everything alone. And it was funny because the second night I went out to go like find dinner and I headed toward like this pizza place and I walked in and I was just gonna get like a table alone because I didn't make a friend. So, and then I walked in and there was this whole big table of like other people that were attending Posh Fest just eating at this restaurant and they're like, oh, are you alone? Are you here for Posh Fest? Join us. And I'm like, okay. So that was kind of awesome. And then I made some friends through that I like talked to for the rest of Posh Fest.
That's awesome. Yeah,
That's cool.
Anne and I kind of hooked up with a group as soon as we got there too. I think it was like the first day of Poshfest. We picked a table and sat down and then other people just came and sat down there. And then those ended up being like our groupies for the rest of Poshfest. Yeah. And we kind of ended up sitting at the same table the rest of the week and every day they'd come and we would just kind of chat and we'd schedule meetings with them. And yeah, it was really fun. Like everyone seemed like super friendly and yeah, it was definitely a fun place to meet other resellers and just talk reselling things and be able to, I don't know, it's just really fun being around other people who do what you do.
Yeah, it's like everybody has this in common. So it's just encouragement that there are other people out there struggling with the same things you're struggling with and experiencing the same joys and that you experience. So, and overall, I feel like everybody was fairly friendly. As far as attendees, I felt like the attendees were very gracious and very friendly.
Yeah, I felt like it was a really friendly crowd of people for sure.
Yep. So, and there definitely were there were some people that knew each other, but there were definitely a lot of solo travelers like me too, because like the table that I sat at, similar thing where I went to the same table every day because like you got to talking to these people and getting to know them and stuff. So it just wouldn't make sense to hop around and like try to introduce yourself to a bunch of new people every day.
Yeah. So oh, sorry.
What are you going to say about me? You go first.
I was just going to say that Anne is super duper outgoing. And like at Poshfest, she was going around and like introducing herself to everyone, being super outgoing and friendly. She had these like little measuring tapes with her logo and like her branding stuff on it. Whoa, where'd that come from?
Sorry, well, anyway. I think that was my volume cutting out.
Oh, okay. Well, Anne was really good at like introducing herself to people and being really friendly. And I kind of like clammed up and got shy. Like, guys, I seem outgoing here on camera, but in person, I actually do get really nervous in big crowds. Like I do get nervous. So Anne kind of helped bring me out of my shell. And like when I wanted to meet someone, like we saw Empty Hanger there and we saw Jenna and I wanted to meet her. So I'm like, Anne, can you go introduce me to her? So Anne came up to her and we said hi and she was honestly like one of the sweetest people ever, so down to earth, friendly, and we just talked with her and it was just really fun being able to meet really, other people you watch on YouTube or follow on social media or whatever. It was
my gosh. Whenever Empty Hanger's like name was said for some reason at like in the big room that you eat in, so they said Empty Hanger for some reason, then everybody cheered and clapped and I was like, oh my gosh. This is so funny. Everybody watches the same people.
Yeah, well, she was one of like the original resellers on YouTube. Her and like the Deal Queen, like they were kind of like pioneering that pathway of like Poshmark resellers.
Yeah, for sure.
Brittany says she's gonna listen while she cleans the car. Hope you have fun at Poshfest. My mom says hi. Hi, Mom. Lindsay says she likes to go with the flow too. Yep, you're my kind of girl, Lindsay. This is why we're friends. And the 5 resellers say hey. Oh, call it favor. Hey, Lauren. Thanks for stopping by. We can't do private room Airbnb.
It was kind of weird. Oh my gosh. The host like wanted to go like thrifting with me. She's like, oh, you like thrifting? I know this great place. Let's go over here. And I was just like, okay, this is too much for like, I was jet lagged. I was just like, I just want to like, I'm just going to chill today. That's okay. But it was really nice though, because the second night or third night, she like offered, or was it the first night? I don't know. One of the nights she offered to like make us dinner. And so she made dinner for like herself, her husband, and also invited me. And then she gave me like all this wine too. So I don't know what was going on. She was super nice.
That's so sweet. Well, you sounds like you found like a good host. Like,
yeah.
But I like purposefully sort by Airbnbs where you have the whole place to yourself whenever.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's great if you plan on socializing.
Yeah.
But I
definitely wouldn't recommend it if you don't want to talk to the host at all, because you're going to be talking to the host.
I can totally talk to the host, but I do also like some downtime. So I get that, especially after flying in. You need some recuperation.
It was a super nice Airbnb though. Like I chose it because it had a pool and a jacuzzi within like the apartment. It was like a condo area for like old people, I think. Like a retirement condo.
Those are the best.
Yeah. So I was chilling. There was no one else out there.
Nice and quiet too. Retirement communities are normally not too crazy, you know?
It was like having a private pool. I was in Arizona where it's like 100 degrees. I was like,
that would have been smart.
Well, and that's probably a really great way to save money on Poshfest too, guys. If you're looking for, an Airbnb in the Orlando area, you could even do a little bit outside of Orlando. Orlando itself, especially in the city area, I don't know that I would recommend staying by yourself if you're one person. But like if you want to like maybe get an Airbnb and drive a little further, there's like Mount Dora is a really nice area outside of Orlando. Let me think, where else? Sanford is a nice area outside of Orlando. Like there's just some nicer areas surrounding Orlando. If you do a little bit of research that maybe you could get an Airbnb cheaper, stay there and then kind of drive a little bit further. Cause I-Drive area in Orlando is very pricey.
There's also Winter Park and Maitland.
Oh yeah.
Too far, right?
Yes, Maitland.
Yeah. How excited were you guys? How excited were you guys to see that Poshfest was in Orlando this year?
Oh my gosh.
Excited.
So excited. Honestly, I was not planning on going this year. I didn't know that they were going to have it to begin with. I was just wasn't sure because of how everything's been going, if they were going to even have in-person Poshfest. But when I found out it was in Orlando, I'm like, I can't not go. Like,
right? Chelsea told me about it because I don't really pay attention, honestly, to Poshmark announcements. I'm not really on Facebook. I don't always read the emails they send. So, and Chelsea told me right away, like, hey, Poshfest is in Orlando, go get a ticket. So if she hadn't told me, I would have just skipped it again.
I feel like this is the first time it's on the East Coast. I think it's always on the West Coast. So I was shocked, honestly.
I was just so grateful because I'm like, Phoenix was quite a hike. I had a little fiasco with my airline tickets where I had to pay so much money in airline tickets because first of all, we booked it late. And then secondly, I made the stupid mistake of booking the ticket under my husband's name instead of my name.
Ooh.
Yeah.
We go through that.
It was really dumb. I think it was because his name was on the credit card. So I thought I needed to put his name on the ticket line. No. So I tried to get the ticket transferred to my name and they would not transfer it. Like I called everyone from Delta Airlines or whoever it was trying to get my ticket transferred. I was sick to my stomach. It was terrible. So anyway, I had to buy a whole new ticket there and back. It was awful.
On that, a couple ticket tips for traveling with airlines. Don't book through a third-party website. It's worth it. It's worth it, especially right now with all the restrictions, to pay for the insurance for a transfer ticket or a cancellation refund, because a lot of airlines won't honor that if you just book. So it's okay to pay extra for that. Or you can get your bank, your homeowner's insurance, or your renter's insurance to give you something called travel insurance for a specified period of time. And that will cover you on those ticket issues as well.
That's great tips. And also something to consider is Poshfest is in Florida and October is still technically hurricane season. So having that insurance may also be a good extra protection for you, just because you never know what's going to happen weather-wise in Florida. It's very unpredictable. So just, word of caution there, maybe it would be worth paying that extra $20 for that extra insurance if you're buying a ticket. Okay.
Yeah. And if you're thinking of paying up, I also recommend nonstop flights if you can find them, because it's so much less stressful. If your plane's running late, you don't have to worry about like anything going wrong with transferring planes. And
I 100% agree with that.
Oh my gosh. I almost exclusively do nonstop flights nowadays if I can.
Yeah, I got stuck in Detroit, Michigan for like 3 or 4 days one time. And ever since then, I do nonstop flights because that was a little layover situation where I missed my flight and it was a mess. So now I'm like, always buy nonstop.
Yeah, it's worth it.
Another thing about that too is make sure that if you want to be fast, like I love being fast, only carry on, don't check a bag. Just roll your stuff and plan to steam it out in the hotel with your steamy iron. And that worked fine for me.
Yeah, get yourself a suitcase that's big enough to like just fit in the overhead, but also fit all your stuff. That's my plan.
Yeah, so what Anne and I did is we just had our carry-ons and then our personal item. And for my personal item, I don't carry just a purse for a personal item. I carry a big hunkin' backpack because it doesn't matter. You can carry a small purse or you can carry a big old backpack as your personal item on flights. And
you can stuff your purse in the big bag and then you have both.
So, do we need to answer the chat questions? I see a question pop up.
I got one here from the 5 resellers that I wanted to touch on. And this is something we wanted to talk about anyway. Big question of the day. Questions for everyone. Do y'all feel like y'all are there to learn a lot about Poshmark, or is it more about networking and just having a good time? Okay, this is the burning question, and I think I definitely have opinions on this. Macy, do you want to share your opinions first? I think I already know Anne's opinion. I think we're kind of on the same page there.
I mean, I already knew this going into 2019's Poshfest, but don't expect to go there to learn anything. Like literally nothing. Don't expect to learn. If you're going to Poshfest, it is to network, make friends, meet other people that do what you do, because it's kind of this isn't a super common profession for people to have, so you don't come across other resellers every single day, and you might want to make some reseller friends, which are super nice to have for multiple reasons. And also just to experience it, like it's pretty fun. It's a big conference. There's like lots going on, and you're going to go to like this big party at the end if you want to. So I don't know. I really had a lot of fun, but I definitely don't know if I learned anything that I didn't already know. It's pretty much, it's more push information wise to newer resellers, I feel like.
Yeah. If you're a new reseller and you're just starting out and you happen to hear about Poshfest and want to spend thousands of dollars to go to Poshfest, then you'll learn something. But if you've been like in the YouTube community, you've watched like any YouTube videos, or anything about reselling by Facebook groups or Instagram, you probably know everything they're going to talk about. Nothing's going to really come as a surprise to you, except for the hackathon when they share the new features. You just get to learn about the new features before everyone else, which is kind of fun.
Yeah, I do like that.
And I think you're on mute still.
I'm sorry, my computer's humming, so I'm trying to like cut down on the background noise for y'all.
Hear any humming.
Oh, good. I was going to say that if you're not able to attend in person and you want to know what the new features are in the hackathon, pay attention to the agenda times and jump on Instagram and look at the live stories, because people will post during the event and you can know pretty fast. So just pay attention to your social media at that time.
That's a good way to grow your social media too. I know I did a post on one of the sessions. Like I took a picture of like each of the slides and then put a little description that like kind of said more about what was happening in that session. And it got like 100 likes, which is a lot for me. And I would
say that my Poshfest pictures got more likes than like anything I've ever posted.
It was those hashtags, man. Everybody was looking for like meeting up and seeing like who was actually there. I think that helped. And I agree with Macy on you're not going to learn anything. It's just a big fun time to get together. I will say there were 2 panels and workshops, whatever they call them. I think they call them panels, sessions. One of them was on how to spot the fake, like looking at designer and luxury brands and kind of learning about what is legitimate and what is a knockoff. And that helped me because I hadn't really gotten into higher end brands at that time. So I learned a few tips and tricks there. And then there was another panel that was very popular, super crowded. And I didn't stay for the whole thing, even though I think I could have, but it was showing you how to list. And they had a hanger and a rack. And they also showed you like what brands were good to pick up. And so that was very helpful, I think, for first-time attendees to give you some tips on thrifting and how to make your pictures look good and stuff like that.
So Anne and I went to Nicole State's little panel about YouTube, and she was there with some like director of YouTube, and they gave all kinds of tips for starting a YouTube channel. And guys, I wanted to start a YouTube channel so bad back then, but I was just like too worried about what other people thought of me, and like just going through all of the reasons why I shouldn't start a channel in my head, like totally putting it off. I wish I had done it way back then, because like I went to that panel and I felt so inspired. I did learn things in that panel because I didn't know anything about posting a YouTube video or how to get views on YouTube. So I felt like that panel was helpful to me, but I just put it off for a whole nother year and a half before I decided to start a YouTube channel.
Chelsea, we are exactly the same. I went to that panel too. I have a whole notebook, like 3 pages worth of notes from that panel. I don't know if I remembered any of it because I only started my channel like a year later, but yeah, I'm sure some of it was retained in the back of my mind, Yeah,
I was just really inspired by it. And I don't know why I put it off so long. I don't know. I just thought no one would watch me. You tell yourself all the things and,
I feel like Poshfest is a good like motivator for a lot of things, honestly. You might not learn a lot, but you'll feel very inspired by the end. I feel like, just to like continue doing your best at reselling and maybe try something new like YouTube or whatever else they talk about. There's a lot of things that you might hear about that you just like, you might not immediately jump on, but it's something that you now have in the back of your mind to maybe pursue later.
And it's always, oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
When you run into a teenager, because ages 13 can attend this thing. So every now and again, you run into like 1 or 2 teenagers and they're like, oh yeah, I've been selling on Poshmark. And I wish I had done that in 9th grade.
Yeah, for real. So Brittany says that I feel like most people going know about Posh. Maybe I'm wrong. Yeah, I agree, Brittany. I feel like most people who are going are pretty established in the Poshmark community, except for those few people who maybe just decided to go, but they did gear it more towards new Poshers in 2019. But I think they did get a lot of negative feedback, sadly, from Poshfest. And maybe they're going to step up their game this year with some more in-depth content. But honestly, it's just, how much more in depth can you go, really? Like, unless they hire like a CPA to talk about taxes. I know that was a big thing that people said. Macy,
I'll just get up on stage randomly and start spewing
talking about taxes. I think that was some feedback that a lot of people had in 2019 is just saying they should have had a CPA come and speak. So maybe they'll do that this year. Who knows?
It's kind of hard. Like I've been to other conferences too, like I've been to accounting conferences, and honestly, I don't know if I walked away with anything from those either. Like it's just like information overload, and you're just like, especially with accounting, you're just trying to get through it. You're like, I'm just here for the food. I don't know how much I care. At least with Poshfest, I care a little bit more about the information. So it's more fun, but it is really hard to get information out there that you can condense to a half an hour or hour long session and like have the majority of people actually like learn something from it. It's challenging.
Honestly, I went to the spreadsheet meeting pull-out session where they were showing you how to like read your data, and I sat down in that meeting and I got so bored, and my little ADD brain could not process that kind of information because I was just so like in like talk to everyone, meet everyone mode. Like I wanted to do all the things that I couldn't really take in the information that was being presented to me, even though it was a great pull-out session. Honestly, I felt like if I had been more focused, I probably would have learned something there. But nope, I think we left that session early, didn't we, Anne?
Oh, yeah. Because also I felt like I know how to pull my sales report and look at the columns and analyze data. So I think that would be really helpful for new people that are trying to set their business goals and figure out like where they want to be in 5 or 10 years. That would be an awesome workshop. But I felt like I had, there was better things to do.
I think I went to that same session. That's the one that I actually did the Instagram post on because I was like, there's a lot of good stuff in here. Like there's little like formulas and stuff you could take advantage of. So I'll do this one.
Well, Macy, I feel like you have like a basic knowledge of spreadsheets already. So that was probably really helpful to you. For me, I was like, I don't understand this. Like I was the girl when in college, I had a computer class. It was like Introduction to Computers for Elementary Teachers class in college. And I was in the very back row and I hardly ever paid attention. I would be back there doing my homework. So like I had like zero spreadsheet knowledge when I started reselling. Like I had to kind of teach myself through trial and error. I learned a lot from Macy. But yeah, I just felt like that particular pullout session was over my head.
See, that's why it's hard, because it's hard to find that like middle ground to where you're going to actually help people with the information.
Exactly.
Because you don't know what people don't know, and you don't know what people do know.
Exactly, because everyone's coming from different walks of life and different knowledge. So, you know, it just depends on the person.
Yep.
Ellie said, do you thrift while on vacation? Yes, we thrifted. Anne and I went all around Phoenix and thrifted. I think we got there a day early. We got there like the Wednesday night, I believe. And then we thrifted all day Thursday, and Poshfest started on Friday. Was that how it was, Anne?
I think so. Yeah, I think so. We definitely planned in thrifting time. And then didn't we leave early one day to go thrifting too? Like go get dinner before the rush? Probably. Or maybe we...
Probably. We squeezed thrifting in whenever we could. Like, honestly, that was like the best part.
And we packed lightweight, very small clothing, and we rolled everything. So our bags were floppy going in, and they were jam-packed full going out.
Yes. Our goal was to kind of thrift enough to kind of like pay for the cost of our ticket or the cost of food or something, just kind of make some money back from the trip. And I think we did find some really good stuff. Like I found brands that I'd never found before. Like I found 1 Teaspoon jeans while I was in Arizona. Ooh. And for me, like that was super exciting, especially then. I found it since then now. But at the time I was like so excited. And it was funny because I told another reseller at Poshfest, I was like, we were just talking with someone new that I had met who lived in Arizona. I was like, yeah, I found 1 Teaspoon jeans today. I'm so excited. She goes, oh, I find that all the time. I pass up on it. And I was like, okay.
That's funny.
Anyway, it's just funny how different resellers are looking for different things. But I was excited, and I thought we found some really great thrift stores. And y'all, maybe I will make a YouTube video about good places to thrift in Orlando. If all you Poshfest attenders want to know the places to go,
you totally should.
Definitely do a video on that. So comment down below if you'd like to see that. Top number 1 recommendation is hit the bins in Orlando. I really feel like we have really good bins locations here. So definitely hit up the bins. Did you thrift, Macy?
No, I was on vacation. I was at the pool. We don't have pools well, we do have pools, but I don't have a pool personally here in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. So I was out in the sun. I was lounging. I also didn't want to compete.
Somebody's pool during Poshfest if I can help it.
Yeah. I didn't want to compete with people too, because I'm like, with like 300 resellers in the area, I can't imagine what the stores are going to be like. Any thrift store nearby, it's going to be crazy probably. So I just avoided it. We
definitely ran into other resellers when we were out thrifting. It was kind of like, they must be here for Poshfest too. So yeah.
I mean, everybody was talking about thrifting that I like talked to. So I was just like, yeah, I'm not doing it.
Yeah. All right, so the Fi reseller says, so true, Posh Festival, Posh Party. Yes, it is a big party. It's speaking of a Posh Party, they actually do have a party the last night of Poshfest. And that was fun. Anne and I went to that. We kind of showed up right when it opened, which I recommend.
Free poly mailers.
Yeah, we got free poly mailers. We got free postcards.
Yep.
And some type of like sticky label thing that I couldn't figure out.
It was water-based tape to be eco-friendly.
That's what it was.
Whatever you call it. Yeah.
So yeah, we stocked up on those compostable poly mailers, and then they give you free drink tickets, which, well, not free, but you know,
you drink. You can get any kind of drink, from water to alcohol.
Yeah, I don't drink alcohol, so I got some really fancy lemonades, and they were delicious. I think I drank like 3 of them. They had like fruit in them, and it was so good.
Nice. I found 2 people that I had talked to previously during the Posh Fest and just like hung out with them, and we went wild. We got tons of drinks and we're like partying it up. There was like a freaking, what was it, like a gym ring or something?
It was like a wrestling ring.
Yeah, like a wrestling ring that they had like people singing in, and we were just like out there like in front of the audience like, yeah, go.
We also had that lady on the silks, like doing all kinds of like.
Oh yeah, they had some weird like acrobatic people hanging around.
Like, what?
I'm like, what is this place? It's so strange.
Paid for entertainers.
It was so cool. Like I'm telling you, it was like a top-notch location. Like they had a photo booth there. They had like almost like little taco trucks serving food, serving drinks, and
there were multiple different rooms. Like there, like if you didn't like one room, go over to the next room or go outside. They had a lot of different areas that you could hang out and like sit down or stand around a table or go to the dance floor or whatever you wanted to do. It was pretty cool.
And they had a studio set up where they were recording interviews, like give us one sentence about your experience at Poshfest, and they were like taking snippets of everybody's. I don't know what they did with those because I never saw my recording, but. I guess they just needed content for future advertising.
Probably.
Yeah. Maybe we'll see it this year.
Yeah, maybe it'll pop up eventually, and you'll be like, "Oh my gosh, there's me!"
There's that lost footage. Yeah, it was a fun party. We didn't stay super late because Anne and I are like old ladies. We kind of stayed until the party got crazy, and then we left.
Teachers, it's a teacher thing.
Yeah.
Well, ladies, I'm going to have to bow out because I have to head on, but I appreciate you hosting this, Chelsea, and participating, Macy. It's been great chatting with you, ladies.
Yeah, thanks for having me. You too.
Yeah, looking forward to the next time. See you later.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye. All right, Macy, are you cool with staying for about another 20 minutes or 15 minutes?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay.
I had to go and take my packages to the post office, so.
Oh, good. Yay.
I was running behind. I was like, hey, can you do me a favor?
Oh, he's a sweetheart. He wins. He wins the boyfriend award for the day.
Mm-hmm.
Someone says, do you need I guess she's trying to say invitation to go to Poshfest? No, you don't need an invitation. Macy, have they released Poshfest tickets to people who are not ambassadors now?
Yeah. So that for people that like aren't sure if they want to take the time to become a Posh ambassador, that's like one perk. You get first access to Poshfest tickets whenever they come out. Like they give you a full day to get your Poshfest ticket before they release it to everybody else. So that's just like one little perk of being a Posh ambassador. But right now, I think it's still available, and you can find it by going to like Poshmark and clicking on notification or news, and then it's at the banner up at the top. I wish that they would put that somewhere else in the app, because you have to go.
I'm so used to ignoring that banner. Like I ignore it every day.
Oh, really? You know? Yeah, I mean, I'm always looking at that banner because it's always telling me things.
Yeah, I look at it for to see if it's closet clear out and stuff. But like I don't know. I missed it the day you told me. I was kind of, preoccupied with everything going on in my life recently, I guess. But I'm so glad you messaged me to tell me the tickets are available because I was afraid I'd have missed them.
Yeah, I'm looking right now and it's not showing it on the banner. So you might want to go to like Poshfest. Just Google Poshfest and there should be a website, and then maybe you can buy the tickets through there, or maybe they're sold out already. I don't know, but
yeah,
it's kind of annoying that the notification banner, because you have to like click out of the news tab and then go back into the news tab, and sometimes the banner changes to something else. So like you have to do that.
Well, it's kind of like that when you're trying to sign up for like a Posh and Sip event. Mm-hmm. Like finding where to sign up is like it's a pain.
Yep. I wish they would just add another page for notifications like that, but what can you do? That'll be my Posh. What do they call it? The thing that they do to like innovate the app. They ask you for suggestions.
Yes. Well, they need to make it so we can find those things much easier. Like they need like an events tab or something. Mm-hmm. 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 So Beauty Adventure says, so pretty much you're all saying, don't go, you won't learn anything. Well, if that's what you're getting out of it, then sure. But
I mean, we're both going. So obviously.
Yeah. So
we like going personally.
I would just say to manage your expectations. That's all I'm trying to say, I guess.
Yeah.
Don't go to learn how to be the best Poshmark reseller there is out there. You can learn that for free on YouTube. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and you're going to get better information by looking up what you need to know via YouTube instead of, it's only a 2-day event. Like you're just not going to get that much information out of it, but you'll get other things out of it, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. And Macy, do you want to share for tax purposes what portion of this trip is a write-off? Because I feel like that might help determine for some people whether or not they should go.
Yeah. So this is not tax advice. But I mean, this can be considered a business trip because your reselling business is your business. And this is a conference that you're doing as part of your business. So everything from like the flights to the Airbnbs to the conference ticket, like the whole trip can be a write-off.
Yeah.
It's just like conference costs, you know. So that would be something that you could take advantage of if you want to save a little bit at the end of the year.
For me, I'm pretty frugal with my reselling business. I don't have a lot of big expenses. So Poshfest was a pretty substantial write-off a few years ago. And I think it really helped, just having that write-off there because I don't, like I said, reselling is not a super expensive business to run. We don't have like a huge overhead, especially, for me, because I mostly source the Goodwill outlet, pay $1 to $2 per item. So, and Macy, I feel like your business model is very similar to mine. We pay very little for inventory. So, it's a write-off. So if you want to look at it that way, I feel like if you can swing it, if you have the money to go to Poshfest and you want that tax write-off and you want to go hang out with friends, I say go for it.
Right. And I mean, whenever I worked in accounting, like having the conference to go to every year, we would have a conference that we would go to as like a learning conference for like a week. And that's always something that I look forward to because it was a week that I didn't have to work. And it was a week that I could just like talk to other people and like hang out. And they always had like some fun things going on and stuff. So it's always something I look forward to. And I feel like if I'd never had a conference again, I would be a little bummed. So it's kind of nice that like Poshmark does this conference so that resellers have that same kind of thing to look forward to once a year.
Exactly. It's really hard to facilitate all of these different resellers from all over the country meeting up. Like if we were to try to plan a meetup, we just, don't have the scope that Poshmark has to be able to plan all of this. So I just feel like it's a great hangout event. That's how I look at it. Heidi from Restyle Secrets says, "Hey kids." Hey. Lindsay, you're so sweet.
Aww.
And Anne said that it is a good way to network. I agree. Heidi says, "I've never been to Poshfest, but I agree that all professional conferences are mostly about inspiration, meeting people, and working vacation. Poshfest, no different." I completely and 100% agree with you. Anne is sharing the address to the Goodwill outlet. So if y'all want to go, there's the address. And Brittany had to go. So bye, Brittany.
And when Anne was talking about conference ticket costs, I agree because like my boyfriend works in tech and he goes to like these tech conferences and those can be upwards of like $1,000 a ticket. So I mean, if you can look at it that way, Poshmark's super reasonable at less than 300.
Yeah.
But it just depends on what industry you're in and stuff and what you're getting out of the conference. Poshfest is something that like I think I'm going to do every single year. So it's something that I save up for throughout the year. And that makes the cost a lot easier to bear because you already know that you already set aside, $30 a month or whatever to like be able to afford it.
Yeah, that's a really good tip because I hadn't saved for this Poshfest because I kind of had decided like, I'm not going to go this year. But then when it was in Orlando, I'm like, I'm absolutely going. So it kind of worked out though, because my birthday was just recently and I had a bunch of birthday cash.
Nice.
And then tickets came live and I was like, perfect. I will spend my birthday money on a Poshfest ticket. So it really worked out well. But yeah, I mean, definitely try to budget for it, though. I highly recommend, planning on it ahead of time.
Right. You want me to share, like, how I budgeted last year? Because
absolutely,
I was super frugal about it. I, like, didn't want to spend more than I had to at all. Because especially, it was my first year full-time reselling. Like, I started full-time reselling in, like, May 2019. And Poshfest was October 2019. So it was, like, 6 months or whatever, right? And I did not... I was not making a lot of money reselling yet. So I was just like, let's make this cheap. So I got my flight, like as soon as they announced the Poshfest, I went to book my flight because I knew that the earlier I got it, the like cheaper it would be. So even though I was going all the way across the country from Pennsylvania to Arizona, I got $200 flights going both ways. So it was about $400 total.
Yeah.
So still an expensive flight because I'm normally only flying to like Orlando, but it was cheaper than it could have been for sure.
Yeah.
And then the Airbnb was $350, and I had a room for I don't know if it was 3 or 4 days. But that was like super reasonable compared to what the conference hotel would have been, or any other hotel really in the area. So that was like saving a lot of money there, just getting a room in this Airbnb, and it had a pool and everything. So it was pretty sweet. And then the conference ticket was $243. I spent $46 on food.
Wow.
That's kind of amazing. That's including airport
That is amazing.
food.
I think I spent more.
Well, remember my Airbnb host fed me dinner one night, which I was not expecting. So that saved me some money there. And then the pizza didn't cost all that much for that one dinner. And then the other 2 dinners were just like some airport food. So it ended up being like $50 in food. And then I spent $56 in Ubers and airport parking for like flying out from Pittsburgh. And then I didn't rent a car or anything. I just got Ubers to like get to the conference and stuff. So it ended up being about $1,100 total for the entire 3.5-day trip.
You know what's funny? That's about exactly what I spent too.
Really?
Yeah, that's about the same amount I spent, but I had to buy flights twice because I made a mistake.
All right.
So that money I saved on buying my ticket, I ended up paying for in extra flights, you know.
Killer. Oh, that hurts my soul.
Yeah, I flew Spirit Airlines, so I did get really cheap flights. Even buying them last minute like I did because I made that mistake, I still ended up getting pretty cheap flights. I think they were around under $200, I think, is what I paid. But you know, Spirit Airlines is like economy flying, but I was fine with that. I mean, I would have probably flown in a box to
I probably would have tried to get them as cheap as humanly possible too if I had to get replacement tickets. Oh my gosh.
Exactly. Hope from Rex to Riches Resale says she's excited to meet everyone. And she's flying back to Boston after with Lori. Oh my goodness, that's so fun. So you're going to have like a really extended vacation. That sounds awesome.
Ooh, that does sound nice.
And I hope to see some more YouTube videos from you guys on your trip together, because those videos were really fun to watch, all your hauls from Boston. That was fun to watch. Yep. So hopefully Macy and I will get some really good YouTube content at Poshfest. Are you going to plan on videotaping this year a little bit, Macy?
Yes, as long as I'm not in a like hiatus where I just don't feel like filming stuff. Like I currently am.
Every now and then.
Every day this week, I'm like, okay, today's the day I'm going to film. And then I'm like, nah.
Yeah, I think I can do it. Not really feeling it.
Terrible. I'm such a good YouTuber, guys.
You really are, Macy. It's just hard to stay consistent. YouTube videos, guys, take a long time to edit.
They do. They take forever.
I'm still working on my thrifting road trip videos, and there's just so much footage to sort through because I did a lot of GoPro footage. Like the other day, I edited a yard sale with me video, and there's just so much random yard sale footage. I really had to like cut it down, but those videos take forever to edit just because there's so much footage that you have to kind of edit down and decide what to do with, and kind of like condense your video because no one wants to watch an hour-long video of garage sailing.
Yeah, you know? Videos with lots of little clips are the longest ones to make for sure.
Yes. So anyway, their work, but I want to try to videotape and do some Poshfest footage this year, especially since Macy and Lindsay and Faith are finally all going to meet in person. So we've just been talking a lot lately. We have a little group text going on, and we've been just talking about Poshfest and making plans. And it's just so cool to finally think of meeting you guys in person. Because like Macy, I feel like, I mean, I know you. We're like really good friends, but we've never met face to face, which is just so crazy.
I know, it's so strange. What a world.
Yeah, it is a crazy world. Speaking of crazy world, another thing that people did to save money at Poshfest, which this I say do at your own discretion. I don't know that I recommend this, but I just want to say other people did this last year at Poshfest. If you're looking to book a hotel and you don't want to pay just for a room for yourself, you can, put out there on the internet to other reseller friends that you are going and you need someone to room with. use caution there. Obviously, I wouldn't just be rooming with anyone you've never met. But if you have like casual Instagram friends, they show their face, you know they're a real person, you seem to trust them in some way, maybe consider rooming with some of those people. So
yeah, that's a really good tip. A lot of people did that last year. Like so many people that I talked to were, I'm like, oh, where'd you stay? Oh, I'm staying with so-and-so over at this hotel or whatever. Yeah. So you definitely, a lot of people were taking advantage of that last year.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of people were grouping up, and I heard several people say, yeah, this is the first time I've ever met this person, but I did decide to room with them. And it just cracked me up because I'm like, that is really crazy. But I mean, you do what you got to do to save a few bucks, and just, you know, make sure you trust that person and you feel safe. But, you know, if it saves a little bit of money.
Yeah, for sure.
So, yeah.
Or do what I do and get an Airbnb with just like a private room. As long as it has like, you know, 50 5-star reviews, you should be pretty safe.
Yeah. Yep. I've got a few friends staying at my little Airbnb. My house is fully booked already. So I'm excited to host a few of my friends. So
Yeah, I'm staying in the hotel this year, in the conference hotel.
You're so fancy, Macy.
I know. That place looks like a freaking resort. Did you see the pictures for it? It has oh, I'm so excited.
I have not, but man, I'm so excited for you. The pool and just all of the extra perks that come with staying there will be really nice. Plus, you don't have to drive through the traffic in the morning to get to Posh.
I'm just going to wake up and like get dressed and go downstairs or whatever. I'll be right there. It's going to be so nice. Oh, yeah, I'm so excited.
It will be. I'm going to have to wake up early, but you know what? My good friend Anne, who was here earlier, volunteered to drive.
Nice.
For Poshfest. Okay, guys, fun fact about me. I hate driving. Like, I just hate it. I don't like driving, especially in downtown Orlando. It's crazy down there. I drive where this conference is. It's wild. Like, it's just wild over there. So Anne enjoys driving. She loves road trips. She volunteered to drive, and I am forever grateful to her.
That's super sweet. I don't like driving either.
Yeah. I don't know. I guess you're one way or the other. Some people love it. I would rather not. I like my husband to drive me around whenever he's home. And, you know, I have my route, my normal places that I go, but I just don't like iDrive. iDrive is International Drive, in case anyone doesn't know. That's like the main strip in Orlando where all of the big attractions are. And there's just so many tourists there and people from all over the world. And it's just wild. It's wild.
I don't blame you one bit.
Lindsay says she's staying at Airbnb Chelsea. Yep, that's what it is. My own private Airbnb.
That's sweet.
All right. So Macy, do you have any like closing thoughts, recommendations, ideas for Poshfest that you want to share? I'm trying to think if I'm forgetting to say anything.
I mean, I definitely just go with the flow if it's your first time going. There's going to be a lot going on, but they'll direct you through everything, and it's pretty easy. Like, I was surprised at how much time we spent in the big conference room with, like, the stage and the food and stuff. Like, we spent the majority of the conference there, I felt like. With like all these different panels just going up on the main stage and talking. And then there were these breakout sessions where you would choose which sessions you wanted to go to, and then you could come and go as you pleased and whatnot. And a lot of people left early because they didn't want to stay for certain things and stuff. So you can do whatever you want.
Flexible. Yeah, it's very flexible, and I like that.
It's really fun. Even though I was by myself in 2019, I had a lot of fun with it. It's a lot more fun than the virtual conference. If you attended 2020's virtual conference, it's way more fun than that.
Way more fun than that. Ellie says, can you meet friends at Poshfest? Absolutely. We met a ton of people. I really feel like that's the main reason you go to Poshfest, is to make friends and meet new people. Resale secrets. Heidi, this is such a good question. Have y'all discussed what you're wearing?
Oh, shoot. I didn't even think about that. I did not know what to wear. I packed business casual because that's what I'm used to wearing to conferences for accounting. And that was not it. So. No.
Okay. So Macy, didn't you think it was so funny at Poshfest? Like, you could basically wear whatever the heck you wanted. Oh, yeah. Like, if you wanted to show up in sweatpants, that was fine. If you wanted to wear a full sequined dress, that was also fine.
Yeah. Nobody was in dress pants though, so don't recommend.
No. I would say it was pretty casual.
Yeah.
But if you wanted to wear your like nicest designer trendy outfit, you could
I feel like a lot of people went all out because they're like, oh, this is my chance. This is my chance to wear this Rebecca Taylor, $9,000 dress that I got last year. So
yes, exactly. So one thing that I loved at Poshfest is I met Brittany from Shop Foxborough there. And she like branded herself for Poshfest. She had Fox outfits for every day.
Oh my gosh.
Vintage style, like ModCloth or Anthropologie dresses with foxes on them.
Oh, that's so cool.
With my love of vintage, I saw her like the first day. Like I don't think I'd even seen her YouTube videos before or heard of her. But because she dressed like the way she was dressed, I was like, oh my gosh, I love your outfit. And then I found out she had a YouTube channel. But like you can really brand yourself and kind of wear outfits that are fun and catch people's attention, and then maybe they're going to want to check out your Poshmark closet because of the outfit you wore.
Yeah, that's something I actually forgot. You want to make sure to bring some sort of business cards with you because you're going to be meeting so many new people and they're going to be giving you their business cards, and you want to give them your business card back so that they remember your name, remember your Poshmark closet, remember your YouTube channel, whatever it is you have going on. Like everyone's exchanging their information. So bring a bunch of business cards or make sure to get some made before Poshfest if you haven't already.
Yes, I agree. Another thing that people were doing at Poshfest is with Instagram, there's like this scanner feature where you can like hold up your phone and it scans this like little barcode, and people were like following each other on Instagram by doing that, which was super cool. Poshmark should come up with a way to do that. So when you want to like follow people on Poshmark, you can just like scan their phone. That would be a good suggestion for hackathon.
Yeah, there you go. Hackathon. That's the thing I couldn't remember earlier. Hackathon.
Yes. So, what else was I going to say? Heidi says sequins, please. I love it. I did spend a lot of time picking up my outfits for Poshfest. I'm not going to lie. I really I remember like laying out my whole closet and just like trying on a million different outfits and taking pictures. I was like sending pictures to Anne, like, should I wear this? Should I wear this? Should I wear this? I think I even did a poll on my Instagram, like which outfit should I wear to Poshfest?
I'm just gonna wear like the dresses that I enjoy wearing the most this year. I think whether they're more comfy or more pretty, whichever my favorite dresses are by the time October runs around, that's probably what I'll be wearing.
That's probably gonna be me too. I love dresses. I do enjoy dressing up, so I'll probably dress up a little bit. I mean, unless I got like a really cool pair of jeans the week before Poshfest. Usually it's my most recent thrift finds. That's what I ended up wearing last year. When 2019 was like my most recent favorite thrift finds. So
yep, smart. Because then you can say, I thrifted this. I mean, my whole closet is pretty much I thrifted this at this point. So
yeah, exactly. So Heidi says to wear comfortable shoes. And yeah, I definitely didn't do that for Poshfest in 2019. I wore heels, and like I like never wear heels. Like I wore like pretty chunky heels just because I thought it would be fun. And it was fun. Like I felt fancy in them, but my feet were killing me by the end of the day.
Yeah. I highly recommend comfortable shoes for sure, because you're going to be walking around and doing whatever all day long. And especially if you have to like walk from your hotel to the conference area. Like I had quite a bit of a walk from my Airbnb to the conference. So
yeah, definitely make sure you're wearing comfortable shoes. That was like one mistake that I made, especially the night of the Posh party. I tried to wear heels to the Posh party. Like I had some really tall heels, and we had to like get on a bus that would take us to the event at the Deuce. And we were going to get on that bus, and I think later we decided to drive our car over there, but finding
I walked.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it was pretty far.
It is far. Oh my god.
It was like a half an hour walk or something. I don't know. It was pretty far.
Well, luckily I brought a pair of backup shoes. I had Rothy's like in my bag, and I pulled those out, and I ended up wearing those to the party instead because they were so much more comfortable. So
Chelsea, what is the weather going to be like in Orlando around October?
So around October, it's normally like the best weather in Florida. Like it's normally like 70s, like mid 70s. So I'm hoping that that's what it's like this year, because Florida can be kind of random. But yeah, I'm hoping it'll be nice like that, like mid 70s.
So people can get away with wearing like their summer clothes.
Yeah, stuff. I totally. Okay, honestly, people in Florida, like there's no seasonality here. Like we might have more color schemes maybe, but even then I don't have. Macy was talking about having like a revolving wardrobe based on season. No, I have the same wardrobe year round, like because Florida, the weather doesn't change much around here. So you know, bring a cardigan, a little light sweater, but usually it's pretty hot here. So, you know.
And it might be rainy because it's very rainy in Orlando.
Yeah, every day around 3 o'clock it rains here. So just plan on, you know, bringing an umbrella or something that you don't mind getting wet in. And don't bother spending hours curling your hair because it's so humid in Florida that you'll lose the curls almost immediately. So
good tip. Great tip.
It's not Phoenix. Phoenix, I curled my hair and it stayed curled for like days.
Oh my gosh. That was one of the most shocking things for me because I've never been to Arizona and I was like, what is this weather? It's like 100 degrees, but it doesn't feel like 100 degrees. It feels like 70 something. Like, what is this? So strange.
Yeah. So the weather in Phoenix was beautiful. In Florida, it's going to be hot and humid. So just be prepared for humidity and your hair to kind of frizz out and, you know, plan your hair accordingly. So my mom says write-offs. What happened here to the comment? Are you seeing it where it's like cutting off half the comment?
It shows the whole comment for me.
Oh, it's cutting off half of it for me. Weird.
You want me to read it?
Write-offs will be hard in 2021. We go on a cruise for my business. Couldn't go this year, and the accountant said I will need more write-offs. Wow, Mom.
That's like permission to go on more vacations.
Yeah, you need to plan
as long as you do something business related while you're on your trip, you know, if you're doing business things every day can count as write-offs.
Come visit me and we can talk about your business together.
Yeah. Have a good business discussion with somebody, you know.
Exactly. Heidi says in Vegas, the girls at 3 a.m. are limping around carrying their shoes. Aw. I'm sure that was a lot of people at Poshfest for sure. Is there something going on Thursday night? Yes. I'm trying to decide whether to fly in Thursday or Friday early. So on Thursday night, there is a Posh party. It's like a pre-Posh party. I don't know if they have tickets for that available anymore. Do you know, Macy?
I can look it up real quick. But yeah, I mean, we got them like a month ago, didn't we? Yeah. So they were circling around Instagram. It's all through like, I don't even know if it's like Poshmark official or if like Instagram people put this together or what, but like
it was like $25 for the pre-Posh Fest party. I did not go to that party in 2019. Just because of all the other expenses of traveling, I didn't want to pay for one more thing. But this year I was like, hey, it's in my area. Yeah, I'm going to pay the extra $25 to go to the pre-Posh party. So yeah, if you want to come in.
I think there's still tickets. Because I just, there's like an Eventbrite thing for it. I'm trying to see what the organizer's name is. Because it was like, you have to go to somebody's Fashion Thrifter 2018, the Threadman. Okay, so I think either of those, if you go to like their Instagrams, they'll have in their link tree the Eventbrite for the pre-Posh Fest. And it's $37.
Okay.
Thursday,
October. I buy a ticket for the same one as you? I'm starting to wonder if I bought a ticket for the same event now.
You had to have, because I sent you the link.
Oh, you sent me the link. That's why I didn't realize. I'm like, I didn't do any of those things.
It's Thursday, October 7th from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern time.
Could you send me the link to that again, Macy, so I could put it down in the description of this video?
Yes.
Thank you.
I just found it by searching messages for pre-Posh Fest party.
Oh, of course. How do you do that?
I don't know, but I just resent it to you.
You did it. Okay, thank you. Yeah, so apparently that was privately arranged. I didn't realize that. I just bought the ticket because Macy sent it to me. And I'm like, yeah, I want to party more.
That's funny.
Let's pack these days.
I didn't go to the pre-Posh Fest party in 2019, but I heard about it after the fact. And a lot of people had went to it and said that it was fun. So I was like, oh, I didn't even hear about this before, like going to Posh Fest. So I wish I would have known about it. I would have went. But
yeah, I didn't hear about it either. About the Posh party, except for there was one that I think some people were privately arranging. There was like a couple different Posh parties going on in Phoenix the night before, honestly.
Oh. I heard of one.
I didn't go to any of them.
Oh, okay.
But I hadn't heard of the one. There was one that was at the hotel where we checked in, and I didn't know about that one. And I probably would have gone to that one had I known about it, because it was like right after you check in at Poshfest, it was like right around the corner, like in that same hotel. So I'm like, oh, that would have been kind of nice, but it's okay.
Yeah, I didn't know about that either. Interesting.
Oh, look at this. We have a first timer. So first time in person, did the virtual event last year. So Jay Hayland. Make sure you come and say hi to us. We would love to meet you in person.
Yeah, for sure.
Do you recommend having a reselling Instagram? Yes, I do. If you like Instagram. If you don't like, oh, I just lost Macy. If you like being on Instagram, I do recommend having a reselling Instagram. It's a great way to network and meet more reselling people. Plus, when you're at Poshfest, a lot of people do ask for your reselling Instagram. So
I don't know what happened. It just kicked me out.
I was like, okay, and she's gone.
Sorry.
Oh my goodness. So do you recommend having a reselling Instagram, Macy?
Yes. I mean, it's not 100% necessary. Like, I hardly use mine, but for events or like things that happen to you in the reselling world, it's kind of nice to just have that platform to like put information out on. So like for Poshfest in particular, like you're going to be meeting so many new people and they're going to want to remember you and stuff. And an easy way to like stay connected with somebody is through Instagram. So like you could give them your phone number or you could give them your Instagram, and then it's like, because you know you don't know these people all that well, so like I don't like giving out my phone number to just like anybody and everybody. I would rather do it through like Instagram, and then if I talk to you for a while, then maybe I give you my phone number.
Same. So I liked having Instagram for the same reasons, just to stay connected. Plus, you can stay up to date on like events and stuff going on in the reseller community. Mm-hmm. And you can definitely follow people on your normal Instagram account, but my private Instagram account is not public, like if that makes sense. Like I have a personal Instagram account that I never use, but anyway, that's private. That's like for family and friends or whatever. I should probably just delete that account because I never use it, but I have a public account for reselling. So unless you want to make your own account public, I think it is good to have a public account for Instagram. That way, like when you're communicating with other resellers, they kind of can tell that you're a real person. Like I get DMs from people who have private accounts and I can't see anything about that person other than the message they sent me. Mm-hmm. And it's kind of hard for me to connect with that person because I don't know who they are. I can't, like, all I can see is a profile picture and that's all I know about that person. Right. So unless I request to follow them. So I personally like having an Instagram account, even though I'm not very active on my Instagram account at all.
Yeah. It's good for branding purposes too. So like if you wanted to, dive into reselling a little bit harder, like branding yourself is actually a key aspect of that. And so like if I have Blue Consignment as my Instagram and my YouTube and my handle on all the different selling platforms and stuff, it's really easy for people to remember and find me in various locations.
Exactly. So, yeah. Let me see. Fashion Thrifter 2018 is Renee. She says she's a very high energy and generous reseller. Is this someone in the chat or?
Oh, that's the person that has the pre-Poshfest in their link tree.
Oh, okay, cool. Good to know. Well, I'm excited to meet her then at the Posh party. That's super cool. You have to wear a vintage dress, Chelsea. Yes, I plan on wearing something vintage, Mom. Last year for the Posh party, I did thrift a really pretty vintage dress. It's actually on the thumbnail. I was pretty proud of that dress. I got it for like $5 and it was like a really cool vintage dress. So yeah, I'll definitely be looking for something vintage to wear to Poshfest because that's what I like the most. I love vintage stuff. So.
Yep, absolutely.
All right. Oh, we have another comment here. Either of you tried Clubhouse? I'm enjoying it, but we need a wider range of people. The reseller presence there has dropped way off, but it is very Poshmark oriented. I was on Clubhouse for a hot minute. Macy and I and Brittany did like a hangout on there one time. The thing I don't like about Clubhouse is it's live. So people can't like re-listen to something. You know what I mean? And it's not monetized. So I just don't know. Like, I don't know. I guess I was trying to decide what was more worth my time. And I feel like I would rather do a hangout on YouTube than on.
Heidi was nice enough to invite me to Clubhouse. So that's the whole reason I joined it in the first place. But it makes me too nervous because it feels like a phone call. And I have like super bad anxiety around phone calls for some reason. I avoid phone calls at like all costs.
Yes. No, I do too. That's so funny. I prefer face-to-face interactions if I can help it. And just having the video component is something I enjoy a lot more.
Yeah. And same with like YouTube, like I can edit out stuff and whatnot. So like lives are cool if I'm doing it with somebody that I'm familiar with, and then for my own YouTube channel, I just have my own edited videos. So like Clubhouse is a whole different ball game, but I definitely liked it for like listening to people talk about stuff for a time. And there was one session I went to on Clubhouse where they had like invited Vendu person that like does their marketing or something on there, and they told us like a bunch of inside information about what was coming up with Vendu, and I was like, wow, this is awesome. So there's definitely some benefits to joining Clubhouse and listening to some of the Poshfest or Poshmark related what do you call them, like sessions or calls or whatever you want to call them.
Heidi says it's monetized now. That's interesting. I did not know that. And it has a side chat.
Is it open to everybody, Heidi? Is it still invitation only?
Yeah, let us know. I actually deleted it off my phone. Like, I still have, I guess, an account, but I deleted the app off my phone just because I wasn't using it. I find it really hard to juggle lots of social media.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was just like one more thing to add to my arsenal of all of the social medias that I'm trying to be active on. So I think I just decided to not do it. But I mean, I'm not opposed to it. It's just not something that I was like, loved it when I was on there. I don't know.
So. Agreed.
Yeah, but it was fun. It was a fun little minute being on there. You still have an invite required, but it's on Android now too. Oh, cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good to know.
All right. So we better start wrapping this up here. I have dinner waiting to be cooked tonight. I'm making shish kebabs, but it's like deconstructed shish kebabs because I'm too lazy to put it on the skewer.
That's okay.
I kind of
tastes the same whether it's on a skewer.
Yeah, it still tastes the same, exactly. And it's like lazy shish kebabs. Do you know what you're having for dinner, Macy?
No. We used our last home chef for the week last night. I do 4 a week, so I get 4 meals for dinner sent to me in the mail, and I usually don't use the last one by Thursday because I'm like a procrastinator. So I usually like cook for myself for Saturday and Sunday, and then use them Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. But for some reason, I used them earlier this week, and so now I have no idea what I'm doing for dinner tonight.
I think it's a good night to go out then.
Yeah. Maybe we'll order Thai. That's usually what we do whenever we don't know what to do. We order some Thai food. So
my husband and I get tacos whenever we don't know what to do.
Nice.
Tacos or burgers. We're pretty basic.
It's nice to have that go-to.
Yes, for sure. So one thing I forgot to say is like the swag stuff they give you at Poshfest. So I'm wearing my Poshfest t-shirt today.
Nice. I wear that one all the time because it's comfortable.
Yeah, I like it. Some people were complaining about the shirts. They're saying they were just like basic white tees, but I really like mine. Like,
no, I wear that to bed like every single night.
It's a comfy shirt. I like it, and I think it's a good like fit for me. So
same.
I also got like a mug or like a water bottle, and you got some poly mailers.
Oh yeah, I really like the swag that they give. And like last year was really cool because they sent that it was like a teeny tiny
mug, right?
It was like this big, and it had a little Poshmark symbol on it. It's probably a 6-ounce or 8-ounce mug, but
a little espresso mug there.
It's nice to have a Poshmark branded mug just because. I don't know.
Pull it up in a YouTube video, like look at me with my Poshmark.
Yeah, exactly. I can have it on my stand behind me whenever I film.
Like this is fun. This is fun to wear to the bins, so I can like kind of like people be like, "Oh, you sell on Poshmark," you know? So
yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
I mean, I use the branded stuff I get all the time. Like this is from when I worked in accounting, and I still use it to this day. And it's just nice to have like. It's nice to just get stuff and not have to buy it yourself.
Yep. So I'm pretty sure they're going to have swag bags again this year. So that's another perk to Poshfest that I forgot to talk about. So all of you who made it to the very end of this video know about the swag bags.
Hopefully they continue giving like useful stuff and don't just throw in like stickers or something silly that doesn't actually get used.
help your business. Mugs are always used by me. So I love mugs. So that's a good thing.
Poly mailers, they can give me all the poly mailers they want.
Yes. All the poly mailers, all the Posh swag. I want a Poshmark hat. I need to get one of those. I keep meaning to buy one at the swag table or whatever.
Poshmark tissue paper. I don't care.
Oh,
Give me
we got the Poshmark tissue paper last year too. I forgot about that.
Yep.
So, all fun stuff. But anyway, we're going to head out now. So thank you guys so much for jumping in on this live. If you're catching the live later in a replay, be sure to comment down below, say hi, let me know you were here. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it because it really helps out my channel. If you're not subscribed to Macy, go subscribe to her channel over at Blue Consignment. I don't know where to point, so I'm just going to point to both places. So, oh my goodness. So subscribe to Macy if you haven't already. And be sure to say hello to her on her channel. Go watch some of her videos. So anyway, thanks everyone for stopping by. I'll see you later.
Bye.
Bye.